Sheriff.
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 Howdy, Sheriff.
Sheriff. Sheriff.
Now, you listen here, Victor. I've been a mayor 7 years, a free man 40, and I ain't about to start taxing gold like some pinstriped banker from New York.
With respect, Mayor, this is not about Eastern habits. It's about monetary correction. The town's economy is suffering from what I would term a rapid devaluation cycle, excessive gold supply, diminished purchasing power, escalating commodity prices. In plain terms, our gold is turning to dust before our eyes.
You see, that's what I mean, devaluation cycles. Out here, we used to call that a run of bad luck.
Luck has nothing to do with it. The inflow of unregulated gold has created an artificial boom. Merchants double prices, miners demand higher pay, and every dollar in circulation buys less each week. A moderate taxation mechanism, what I propose, would help stabilize the town's currency and restore equilibrium.
Equilibrium, eh? Sounds like something that tips over if you sneeze too hard.
We impose a graduated assay fee on every lot of gold processed within the town limits and a transactional levy on imports and exports. The proceeds will enter the municipal treasury and be allocated to infrastructure, roads, wells, street lamps, public sanitation. These investments will increase the town's long-term productivity and thus sustain the local market.
Street lamps. I can see just fine by moonlight, thank you kindly.
Mayor, with all due respect, progress does not wait for moonlight. If we fail to act, inflation will consume every ounce of wealth this town produces.
Progress. Folks keep saying that word like it's a blessing. Every time someone says progress, I lose another good hat to a city ordinance.
This is not a matter of preference, but necessity. Without revenue, we cannot fund essential services. Without services, the town deteriorates. A gold tax is the only instrument available within municipal law.
And why not tax it at the source, huh? Creed's mine. That's where all the shine's coming from. Why dance around it? Cut the problem at the root.
Because, Mayor, the root lies outside our jurisdiction. Creed's claim sits on unincorporated land. We cannot legally impose taxation there without authority from the county governor. Within the town, however, we can regulate assay, transport, and exchange.
So you're telling me the man digging the hole gets off scot-free, but the man who weighs it gets the bill? That's like taxing the frying pan and letting the cook walk.
It's called legal delineation, Mayor. Lines on a map established by law.
Lines on a map? That's the problem right there. West used to be wide open. You could ride till the sun quit shining and never hit a boundary but your own conscience. Now it's jurisdiction this and ordinance that. The West's turned into a quilt of red tape.
You left the East because it was ruled by accountants and clerks. Yet if we fail to organize, Greenhorn's pass will collapse under the same chaos that built it. Order and freedom can coexist, Mayor, provided we balance them.
Balance, huh? You ever tried riding a horse while balancing a ledger?
Can't say I have, Mayor, but I imagine you'd do it better than most.
All right, Victor, you win this round. We'll run it your way. The assay fee, the levy, all the fancy terminology. But if this town ends up more tangled than a tumbleweed in barbed wire, I'll have you polishing my boots till Christmas.
A fair arrangement, Mayor.
What about you, Jed? You got any pearls of wisdom or just here for the entertainment?
Reckon I got something. Word is Silas Vane skipped town last night. Took half the town's gold after a last Prospector visit.
Half the town's gold?
That's what the miners are saying. Packed up and rolled east just 'fore sundown, quiet as a church pew.
Well, ain't that just the cherry on this cow pie of a week? If that word spreads, we'll have a panic faster than you can say bank run. Keep it under your hat, Jed. Last thing I need is folks trading shovels for pitchforks.
Got it, Mayor. My lips are sealed tighter than a whiskey barrel in winter.
Then we are agreed, gentlemen. The gold tax will proceed. I'll draft the official ordinance before sundown.
Ain't the West I knew. Back then a man worried about bandits, not balance sheets. Progress, spa. Next thing you'll tell me, folks will be paying for water.
If the wells dry up, Mayor, yes, they will.
Guess I better start saving rain. The West ain't dying, it's just getting civilized. Damn shame if you ask me. Look at that. Whole town's out there howling like coyotes on a cold night. What in blazes are they belly aching about now?
Word is Creed's holding back their pay, sitting on his gold like a hen on a cold egg. Ain't selling, ain't spending, just letting it rot shiny in the dark.
It was to be expected. The tax has disrupted the incentive chain. Creed refuses to sell his gold in town to avoid the levy. Consequently, payroll funds are frozen. The miners, in effect, are victims of liquidity hoarding.
Liquidity hoarding? Boy, you got a way of making robbery sound polite.
It is, in essence, an obstruction of monetary circulation. When gold ceases to move, commerce dies.
Then let's get it moving again. Call in the prospector. I want to hear what kind of mule-headed logic he's running on.
Mayor, Councilman Vogel, Sheriff, mighty fine day for digging if a man weren't being robbed by his own town.
Robbed, huh? Funny, coming from a man sitting on a mountain of gold big enough to make the sun jealous.
Gold's a man's sweat turned to shine, Mayor. Ain't no mayor nor bookkeeper got a claim to that. You start taxing a man's sweat, next thing you'll be taxing his breath.
If I could, I'd tax the wind you blow, Creed. Now, the men outside say you ain't paid 'em in weeks. That true?
I'm holding the gold for the good of the town. Every ounce I sell here gets shaved off by your new assay fee and levy. So, I'm protecting its worth. You ought to be thanking me.
Mr. Creed, that rationale is economically unsound. The purpose of taxation is to recirculate value into the community. Your hoarding creates an artificial scarcity that inflates the price of goods, crippling the very town that supplies your labor.
Sounds like a lot of paper talk for saying you want a slice of my gold.
You listen here, Creed. Those miners break their backs in your pit. You don't pay 'em, they'll pack up and leave you alone with your precious hoard.
They'll stay. They always do. I got their wages stored up safe. All they gotta do is wait. Patience builds character, don't it?
Character don't buy bread, Creed.
Mayor, your fancy new law ends where my claim begins. You want to tax me? You better start moving your jurisdiction line up the hill. Till then, I ain't paying a red cent.
You're playing lawyer games, Creed. Don't forget, half your workforce lives in my town, drinks my water, and uses my roads. That makes you a part of Greenhorn's past, whether you like it or not.
Maybe so, but the gold stays where the law don't reach.
You walk out that door, Creed, and you best hope them miners don't realize they can't eat promises, 'cause when hunger hits, a shovel makes a mighty poor dinner. That man's got the conscience of a fence post and the manners of a constipated jackass. Well, blast it all, Victor. What do we do now? The man's sitting just beyond our reach, laughing up his sleeve while my town starves. How in thunder am I supposed to stop him if his mind's sitting outside our lines? You're the man of books. Tell me something that ain't printed on paper.
Mr. Darrow, while his claim may lie outside our municipal boundaries, his operations do not. Creed's miners reside here, purchase their provisions here, and use our infrastructure. His claim of being outside town is legally immaterial if he draws upon our labor and resources.
So he hides behind a map line while bleeding us dry from the other side.
Precisely. It constitutes what I would term tax evasion by subterfuge, the deliberate exploitation of jurisdictional loopholes to avoid civic contribution while reaping its benefits.
Tax evasion by what now? Victor, you could make a thunderstorm sound like a bookkeeping error.
In simpler terms, Mayor, he's gaming the system, and I intend to close that game.
How? You gonna throw a book at him from across the county line?
By bringing the matter before the county governor, we shall prepare a formal complaint citing the hoarding's effects on public welfare, wage disruption, and market destabilization. I'll attach testimony from the miners, economic ledgers showing inflationary impact, and documentation of Creed's operations within town limits. Once submitted, the governor will have both the authority and obligation to intervene.
So the law's got longer legs than I thought. All right, then, you go fill your forms and write your fancy words. Just make sure that gold hog don't skip town before your ink dries.
I shall see to it personally. If there's justice left in this territory, Creed will answer for the damage he's done.
Good, 'cause if that man's got any more tricks up his sleeve, we'll be needing every ounce of that book learning you've got, Victor. This town's had its fill of outlaws with ledgers instead of pistols.
Never thought I'd see the day lawmen fought gold with paperwork instead of pistols.
Yeah, well, bullets run out, Jed. Paper just keeps stacking up. World's changing, and not all of us were built to keep up, but we'll keep this town standing, even if we gotta do it one signature at a time.